There is a land that modern maps do not bother to name. In the deep, rocky jungles of Nueva Ecija, where sunlight only penetrates a few strands of foliage, there exists a name that the villagers never dare to mention at night. Tatay Kardo, the one who does not age, does not die, is not entirely human. It is said that he was once a gabunan, a half-human, half-demon creature, who lives on blood and memories. But for decades, no one has seen him leave the old cave on the cliff. However, the rumors have never died. That on full moon nights, people hear a long howl-like call from another world. That anyone who accidentally wanders into the forest will never return. The shadow of an old man carrying a torch walks through the dark forest. The camera pans over bloody footprints, whispers Echo. I have lived long enough to see that the human heart is more terrifying than the devil. If one day the devil inside me wakes up, then it is not my fault, must be me. And then one day, a young man named Abdon collapsed in the middle of the forest. In his hand was a torn bag of medicinal herbs. In his eyes was utter despair. He did not know that he had just awakened the beast that was sleeping in the cave. It's been so long. I haven't tasted human blood. But those eyes, why are they so similar to my wife's eyes? This is not just a story about an aswang. This is a story about choice between the human part and the beast part. And a prophecy that will shake the boundaries between the two worlds. Can the one who was once a monster become a hero? At the end of the Luzon map, where people can only see forest trees, cold wind and steep rocks. Hidden in the mist is a legend that no one dares to mention after dinner. Tatay Kardo, the immortal hermit. The last man carrying the blood of the extinct species, Gabunan. Close-up of Tatay Kardo's face. The pale blue light from the cave crevice illuminates Tatay Kardo's face. Long white hair, thick beard, golden brown skin, deep eyes, not angry, not sad, just empty. Narrator. No one knows how long he lived, only that when the village's fathers were born, Kardo sat there, next to the broken stone statue, embedded deep in the mountain. He never spoke to anyone, never came out of the forest, and never grew old. Flashback, sepia tone, fire burning the village, the screams of women and children. Narrator. They once burned his house. They once tied his wife and children to stakes, burned them down in the night because of the rumor, Gabunan eats children. But they were wrong. Tatay Kardo did not eat people. From that night he vowed. If he had to live forever, he would live so as not to become devil. Present, Kardo bent over to pick medicinal herbs, his hands shaking slightly, his eyes still bright. Kardo walked slowly through the deep forest, looking for leaves with purple flowers. The wind blew strongly, the forest leaves curled around his feet as if whispering something. Narrator. He learned how to cure diseases from the forest plants. He knew which ones were poisonous, which ones were medicinal, and which ones could replace human blood. Every night, he sat in front of a small fire, placed his wife's old handkerchief on a stone pillow, and talked as if she were still there. Internal monologue, Kardo in front of the fire. Kardo sat with his legs drawn up, the firelight reflecting in his eyes. A small silver ring lay in the palm of his hand. Tatay Kardo whispering. Hindi ko sila pinatay. Alma, hindi ko kinain ng sinuman. Pero hanggang kailan ko kayang pigilan ang gutom na to? Kung ako na lang ang natitirang gabunan, may karapatan pa ba akong mabuhay like a person? A thin wisp of smoke rose, the silhouette of a woman faintly appearing in the smoke. Narrator. Some nights, people say they see fire in the forest. Some nights, people swear that they hear a man talking to himself in the mountains to a soul that no longer exists. Narrator pausing, rushing. But the silence did not last forever. One hot afternoon, a young creature collapsed before the entrance of a cave and awakened the hunger that had been dormant for decades in the blood of the last gabunan. In the middle of the forest where no one dares to enter at noon is a young body, pale skin, hands clutching a torn bag of medicinal herbs. His name is Abdon, and the blood in his body is awakening something that even Tatay Kardo has forgotten: hunger. Kardo appears behind the trees, his eyes wide. Camera cuts to Tatay Kardo's face. Pupils constrict. Breathing heavily. The scent of blood permeates the air. He stands motionless, like an animal awakening from hunger. Tatay Kardo rolls softly, inwardly. Dugo sariwa. Bata pa. No, Kardo. You promised. Don't let your oath be betrayed. But Pele, does this smell of blood feel so familiar? One step, then another. He pressed his hand against Abdon's chest, feeling the faint heartbeat. In a second, the white eyes turned back to the sad brown of a human. Kardo carried Abdon like a straw, rushing back to the cave like a flash of lightning. Narrator. An immortal began to tremble again before the fragile breathing of a human. For the first time in decades, he brought living soul into the cave, the place that had been the grave of his family's dreams. Cave, Abdon gasped, waking up. The light from the torch was weak. Abdon, whispering. Inwe, parents are dying. I have to find medicine, but the albularios only know how to take money. Tatay Kardo, cold but not taking his eyes off. Really, do you dare to enter this forest alone? Abdon. Because no one else dares to help. I don't want to lose my parents. Even if I have to die, I have to be right. A moment of silence. Kardo turns away. His eyes are wet but his voice is still cold. Tatay Kardo. The scent of your blood is the missing piece. The species once belonged to is extinct. But your blood has never died. Gabunan, there is still hope. Fire burns, Kardo stands before Abdon, reciting the ancient oath. Tatay Kardo. Want to live. Want to be stronger than those liars. Listen carefully. From now on you will live under 3 conditions. 1. Do not fear me. 2. No one, not even blood, will know about me. 3. When transformed, do not look at me for too long, otherwise your soul will not be intact. Abdon, shaking slightly, but determined. I agree if only it can save them. Tatay Kardo. Good. But remember, I'm not teaching you to become a monster. I'm teaching you not to become them. Kardo holds out his hand, a small jar of dark blood. Narrator. A handshake between a monster and a man, between burned past and an undefined future. And so, journey begins. Neither of them knows that what awaits them out there in the woods is more terrifying than hunger. The camera pulls away. Kardo and Abdon sit in front of the fire. On the cave wall, their shadows are long, as if one is a human and the other is something else. In name they are healers. But in reality, they exploit fear. In the area there are no hospitals, no medicine, only superstition and rumors. And it is these pretenders of light who have turned the despair of the villagers into a bargainable commodity. Mother Abdon kneels, holding a bunch of bananas and a handful of rice. The mother, trembling, offers both hands with leftover rice and a few wilted bananas. The young albulario, Islo, sneers, waving his hand to throw them away. Islo, in a contemptuous tone. Ganito ang dala mo? Gusto mong gamutin ko ang asawa mong mamatay na? Bumalik ka pag may tunay na halaga o bumalik ng may kabaong. The mother collapses to the ground. No one in the crowd dares to step forward. Narrator. It's not just physical pain. It's humiliation to the soul. Night falls. An albulario is counting money, drinking alone. There is a sound of wine whistling through the door. The oil lamp flickers. A dark shadow passes Il at the door. He is startled, grabs a knife. No one, nothing but a fishy smell rises from behind. Islo, whispering, reassuring himself. Hayop lang yan, hayop lang yan. He turns around and disappears. The next morning, only long bloody scratches remain on the wooden wall. No body. Narrator. The first to disappear but not the last. Another albulario goes crazy, scratching his face, slashing his tongue, screaming in the abandoned church. Villager isa. May sumpa. Gabunan daw. Aswang sa bundok. Villager dalawa. Yung gabunan na iniwan ng langit, nagpaparusa. Narrator. From the whispers. Started new superstitious fever. But this time, no one sells medicine. No one dares to accept money. Because the price is the soul. Kardo stands on the top of the mountain looking at the village, his eyes shining in the night. Tatay Kardo, introspective, low voice. They have the name of healing but their hearts are more poisonous than mine. People like that don't need me to bite them. They will devour each other. Abdon saw his mother crying silently. No more rice, no more medicine. He clenched his fists, looking up at the mountain top. Narrator. For the first time in his life, Abdon was no longer afraid of Gabunan. But he was afraid of those who called themselves people. The villagers held an urgent meeting. Someone discovered large footprints near the edge of the forest. A child said he saw a silver-haired man crawling on the cliff. Village head. Hindi ito normal. May halimaw sa bundok. Dapat hanapin natin ang lungga nito bago tayo ang sunod. In the 100 years of seclusion, no one had ever been worthy enough to touch the Gabunan black stone. Until that young man entered the forest, carrying with him filial piety and hunger that was about to kill his entire family. Tatay Kardo held the small, glowing black stone, placing it in Abdon's hand. Tatay Kardo, in a low, slightly trembling voice. The half of this stone is what kept after the entire species was destroyed. Now it belongs to you. Abdon, hesitantly. But if you cannot control it, Tatay Kardo, then we'll personally send you away before you become something that both humans and demons fear. Abdon drank the blood diluted with black stone powder. His whole body convulsed. His heart beat rapidly, his eyes turned white. Kardo watched, his eyes worried. Narrator. For the first time, thirst rose. His throat was dry as fire. His ears could hear every teeny vein in the forest. But instead of screaming like beast, Abdon collapsed and cried. On the top of the hill, a young man appeared, holding a silver amulet, his eyes alert. Abdon, I know where you're hiding. Come out here before I use this. Dio stepped forward. Kardo appeared before him, lightning fast. The two faced each other. Thunder rumbled in the distance. What are you? Don't think I don't know. The smell of your blood is not human. Tatay Kardo, snarling. I used to be human until people like you burned my whole family down over a rumor. Abdon rushes to stop him, but it's too late. Kardo begins the ritual of copying the Antingero's power. His body convulses, his skin cracks, his back arches like a wild animal. Narrator. Gabunan has one last power, copying the power of his opponent, but at the cost of indescribable pain. The camera pans around Kardo. Blood flows from his eyes. Black veins streak across his skin. He screams as his body smokes. Two streams of black and silver energy intertwine like fire and lightning. At that moment, at the foot of the mountain, villagers arrive with torches and ropes. Village chief. Kill them. The Abdon family raises demons. They are the ones who brought disaster to this entire village. The mother is pushed down. Abdon's sister cries. The villagers surround them, pouring oil on their roofs. Narrator. The human heart is always ready to catch fire. If someone shouts, they will. Even innocent people will become prey. Dio blocks the villagers, holding up his amulet. The fire burns brightly. Kardo descends from the mountain into the crowd, half human, half shadow demon. Tatay Kardo, roaring loudly, his voice thunderous. Let them go. It's all my fault. If you want blood, then Lily blood will be the last thing you see. He rips his shirt, revealing his back covered in ancient symbols, the protective curse of the ancient Gabunan. His eyes glow red, the surrounding trees sway. Abdon kneels, watching Kardo get hit ila the villagers' spears. Black blood flows profusely. Before collapsing, he smiles at Abdon. Tatay Kardo, whispering, You are not me, but you will be what this world needs. Don't die like me, live like the person never got to be. Kardo collapses. Slow motion. The fire dies down. Abdon screams. The scene falls silent. The fire has died down. The crowd has dispersed. Death has just harvested enough blood. And in the last seconds, amid the lightning, people saw figures standing before them, not a monster, not a man. Tatay Kardo, his body covered with wounds, still standing upright in the crowd, arms outstretched, not resisting. Tatay Kardo, voice booming, slightly trembling. I am the one you want to kill. I am the one who spread terror. I am the last Gabunan. But I have never killed anyone. Only human hatred creates ghosts like me. The villagers are silent. Child cries. Kardo turns to look at Abdon. He is tied up, his head is bloody, his eyes are wet, but his gaze is still strong. Tatay Kardo, voice softening. From now on you are the gate between light and darkness. Be what have not yet become, justice with a human heart and demonic claws. Kardo turns back, walking straight towards Dio, who is holding the mucha. One hand touches the stone. The Raila thunders. An explosion of white light, the villagers fall. When they look up, Kardo is standing still, his body turns into smoke, white specks rising into the Raila like a pure soul. Narrator. No one knows where he went. No one saw blood, body, or bones. Only a circle of gray ash and the smell of incense burning in the rain. A few days later, Abdon stands alone in front of the cave, wearing Kardo's old cloak. He holds a slightly cracked black stone in his hand, the faint light from within still beats like a heartbeat. Appearing behind him. Are you sure? This path there is no turning back. Abdon. I'm not going to take revenge. I'm going to guard. No one else will have to turn into a monster just because no one is on their side. Final scene, Abdon enters the deep forest. Camera from afar, he enters the mist, his silhouette blending into the trees. On his hands, blood, a talisman, and an old notebook of Kardo's. Narrator, final voice. The legend of Gabunan has ended. But a new bloodline has been awakened. Not to hunt. Not to strike fear. But to stand between worlds and protect forgotten souls. Post-credit scene, village children whisper to each other about the gatekeeper, a creature that doesn't kill but will kill the weak. Child. It is said that if anyone harms an innocent person, in the middle of the night they will hear scratching at the door. And when they open their eyes, only their fingernails will be left painted on their chest. Gabunan.